Hello everybody. Today we are going to learn about the next chapter, digestion and absorption. Digestion means the process of conversion of complex food substances to simple absorbable forms. That means complex food substances will be broken down into simpler absorbable forms. Digestion is carried out by mechanical and biochemical methods. It consists of alimentary canal and associated glands. Alimentary canal or digestive tract starts with mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, that leads to small intestine leads to large intestine, then rectum and anus. These are the parts of the alimentary canal. In the diagram, we can say mouth cavity or oral cavity, that leads to pharynx. Pharynx leads to esophagus. Esophagus leads to the J-shaped stomach. That stomach is present in the left side. Stomach leads to small intestine. See, this is the small intestine. Small intestine leads to large intestine. Large intestine leads to rectum and anus. First part of the small intestine is U-shaped duodenum. Duodenum leads to coiled jejunum. Jejunum leads to highly coiled ileum. Ileum leads to the large intestine. The first part of the large intestine is cecum. Here we can see a finger-shaped structure that is known as Vermiform Appendix. That is called Vermiform Appendix because it has the shape of a worm. It is a vestigial organ. Then cecum leads to colon. Cecum leads to ascending colon, transverse colon. Then that leads to descending colon. Descending colon leads to rectum, where fecal matters are stored. Rectum leads to anus. So these are the parts of the alimentary canal. Then in the oral cavity there are teeth and tongue. That means in the mouth cavity teeth and tongue present. There are different types of teeth, or you can say human dentition is thecodont, diphodont and heterodont. Thecodont meaning each tooth is present in or embedded in each socket. Diphodont meaning there are two sets of teeth, milk teeth and permanent teeth. Milk teeth is deciduous. Deciduous in Malayalam, പൊഴിഞ്ഞു പോകുന്ന. Then adult dentition is permanent. Next comes the heterodont teeth. That means different types. They are incisors, canines, premolars and molars. Then comes the dental formula. Dental formula meaning that is taken by each half of the upper jaw and each half of the lower jaw. The presence of teeth in each half of the upper jaw and each half of the lower jaw. Like that, dental formula is taken. So, human dentition, dental formula, that is adult. 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars. That is each half of the upper jaw. Then each half of the lower jaw present 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars. So adult dental formula 2123 by 2123. This is very important for the entrance. Next, milk dentition, that is premolars are absent. Here 2 incisors, 1 canine, no premolars, 2 molars. Lower jaw also each half there will be 2 incisors, 1 canine, no premolar. That's why it is written 0. 2 molars. So 2102 by 2102 milk dentition formula. Then enamel. The surface of the teeth is covered by enamel. That is the hardest substance in our body. Enamel. That is also very important. Then in the mouth cavity there is a muscular structure or muscular organ that is known as a tongue. Tongue is attached to the floor of the buccal cavity by frenulum. Very important for the entrance. Frenulum. Tongue is attached to the floor of the buccal cavity by frenulum. Then next one. Upper surface of the tongue will be having some small projections that is known as papillae. Some of the papillae will be having taste buds. Then, so mouth cavity leads to pharynx. Pharynx is the common passage for food and air. That is also very important. Pharynx, common passage for food and air. Next comes the epiglottis. Epiglottis meaning that is a cartilaginous flap that will be preventing the entry of food into the glottis. Glottis meaning that is an aperture or opening that will be leading into the larynx and trachea. So epiglottis is a flap like a structure preventing the entry of the food into the glottis. Then next comes the esophagus. Esophagus, that is thin, that is long tube passing through neck, thorax and diaphragm. So esophagus is a long tube. See here, this is the esophagus that will be passing through neck, thorax and diaphragm. Esophagus leads to J-shaped stomach. Between the stomach and the esophagus, or you can say at the junction of the stomach, we can see gastroesophageal sphincter. That means between the esophagus and stomach. So somewhere here, between here we can see the gastroesophageal sphincter. That means between the stomach and the esophagus. Here. Gastroesophageal sphincter. That means when the food reaches here, the gastroesophageal sphincter will be opening and then food will be coming into the stomach. Then the difference between sphincter and valve. Sphincter will be opening on both sides, whereas valve will be opening only to one side. In heart, valves are present. Here I told gastroesophageal sphincter. During swallowing, food will be coming through the esophagus. then it will be, the sphincter will be opening and then it will be leading to the stomach. During vomiting also, the food contents that will be coming through the esophageal, gastroesophageal sphincter. Then again the sphincter will be opening and it will be passing through the esophagus and coming out through the mouth. So that is the difference between sphincter and valve. Then next, so esophageal sphincter will be muscular and it will be regulating the opening. Then stomach, upper left part of the abdominal cavity. Then stomach will be having 3 parts. Already we have studied esophagus leads to stomach, J-shaped stomach. 3 parts will be there. The first part is the fundus, this part, fundus. Then cardiac. Then pyloric part. This part is the pyloric part. Next point is very important. Esophagus leads to cardiac. But first part is fundus. But esophagus leads to cardiac. Then this is the superior portion of the duodenum here. So these are the parts of the stomach. Next comes the small intestine. Small intestine also that already I have explained. 3 parts, duodenum, then U-shaped, that is, next comes the jejunum, that is also coiled, that is long. Then comes the ileum, that is highly coiled. See, small intestine. See, this is the duodenum. Okay, U-shaped, then long coiled jejunum, then highly coiled ileum. Then next one is the large intestine, that also I have explained in the diagram. Cecum, colon and rectum. Cecum, that is a blind sac. Then cecum will be containing symbiotic microorganisms. Vermiform appendix also I have explained, that is vestigial. Colon also I have explained, 3 parts, ascending, transverse and descending. Rectum opens out through anus. So these are the important points. Now I will be giving some additional points. That is different areas of the tongue. Tip of the tongue, that is for sweet taste. Whereas tips and sides, salt. Sides, sour. Back of the tongue, bitter taste. Next, sweat glands of dogs are present on tongue. Then esophagus in human being 10 inches that will not secrete digestive enzyme that is involved in deglutition. Deglutition meaning swallowing. Then esophagus will be secreting mucus. The next point, diastema. Diastema meaning the space between 2 types of teeth. In rabbit we can see diastema that is present. That distance is, that means a space is present between incisors and premolars. Canines are absent. In rabbit, canines are absent. So, diastema meaning the space between incisors and premolars. Then, there are no taste buds for chilies on tongue in human beings. All these are additional points. So, these are the important points from the first part of the chapter digestion and absorption. So if you like this class, kindly share with +1, +2 and medical entrance repeater students. Okay, thank you very much.